Well, hello there, motherfuckers. And this is a review of Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Now, this movie was impressive, people. Let me tell you, I don't think that I've ever been more surprised by a film. That first Captain America movie was alright. It was okay. It was, shall we say, average. You know, I enjoyed the other Avengers films. Just about every single other first Avengers movie was better. You know, Hulk with Ed Norton was better. Thor was great. I loved that one. That one surprised me. I thought that was a good one. The first Iron Man movie, you know, classic. Great, you know, but Captain America, Chris Evans, not a bad actor. You know, Captain America is not the most charismatic of heroes, so I guess it's, you know, a little bit difficult to portray someone such as the Captain America, or he's just more of a straight-faced, you know, more straight-ahead type of superhero, not as charismatic as, say, Iron Man, Tony Stark, you know, or conflicted as the Hulk. You know, it's more, you know, cut and dry with Captain America. So, you know, pretty much you need to build an interesting storyline with interesting villains around this character, you know. And that is exactly what they did. This was an impressive story. This right here was a full-fleshed out story that I loved, and I loved how it built off of like real life, and you know, just not being able to trust the government, always looking over your shoulder. A bit of spoilers here, not so much, but you have this group, this faction, Hydra, that is taking over SHIELD. You know, it's a group of people that were once trusted. They don't know that they're in Hydra, but you know, these are people, figures that are mostly trusted in the world. They come in, and, you know, they take over SHIELD, and you have to see why they take over SHIELD. I won't spoil the whole fucking thing for you, but needless to say that, you know, this whole thing that they fleshed out here, the whole story, just worked out very well. I love the whole conspiracy angle, because that's what was really lacking from the first one. It was mostly just tell Captain America's story, fight Red Skull. It was mostly a point A to point B story. You know, just average, generic. Like I said, it wasn't a bad movie, but not an exceptional one. It was just there, basically. You know, just, you know, suitable Captain America film, but nothing over the top. This is over the top, but in a great way. Every single minute there is action. And it is very rare that you get non-stop action paired with great storytelling. That's exactly what they did here. They managed to just, you know, like, obviously not every single minute is action, but a great deal of it is. More than half of the movie is action-packed. And you have the story being told in a great way. That the funny thing is that you can understand it all. You know, a lot of times stories get all twisted up and you're like, what? How? This is perfectly understandable. You had a great plot being told in a great way. It was almost just like reading like the comic book, you know. My mind wasn't spinning like, what? You know, it was more like, yeah. This was definitely like an adrenaline-filled movie with a great storyline where you really root for the heroes. You know, they also played up more of Black Widow in here, and you know, I like how they wrote in Scarlett Johansson here. I think she did a great job. You know, Black Widow is a good character, so it was a pretty good performance, I think. You know, I didn't know really what to think in the Avengers about her. We did get to see a little bit of her, but not enough. But now it's Captain America teaming up with Black Widow, and then you've got You've got a new hero that goes side by side with Captain America, another soldier. Moo was alright, not like he really needed to be there, but he had a little bit of something there. And just a pretty impressive movie in the storyline. It, for me, it almost rivaled the Avengers. I don't even know if it was better, but I can't really praise it enough. It was just, I was excited watching this movie. Never did I feel bored. Never did I feel sleepy. During this movie, like, oh Jesus, it kept the pace, at a very even flow. There was no real drop-offs of interest. I always felt like something new, a new piece of the puzzle was being added into the whole conspiracy angle. At first you want to know what's going on, why did they do this, and you learn. There's like no plot holes, which is very impressive for like a film, especially a superhero movie where usually the plot takes a back seat. And I'm seeing a lot of goofball reviews. Now, mostly this is a pretty strongly rated film. I believe right now at Rotten Tomatoes they got it at about 89%. But usually I like to, even if, you kind of know if it has a low rating at Rotten Tomatoes, it's not going to be a good film. But still, I like to see the film for myself, to judge for myself. And I see a lot of goofballs like the New York Times saying that this movie is too CGI and everything. And I think that, I'm not a big fan of, CGI action movies where sometimes the actors themselves are digitized. But I think they handled it pretty well. And, most of the times, like, there's one part where Captain America, spoiler alert, so fast forward 30 seconds if you don't want to hear me say this, but Captain America jumps out of an elevator, right onto the streets, crashes through the glass, and it was quick. Like, you don't see it. Like, okay, you want to know an example of, like, really bad CGI? There was a part in Superman Returns where he, I don't even want to talk about this movie, but he takes the plane and he lowers it at the end. Remember that part of the film? And his whole face didn't look real. They didn't even try. Now that is bad CGI to complain about. This, they're complaining about the CGI. People were saying, they didn't like this whole story. This is what makes me sick. There's some people out there that are putting their politics into this review. Now, come on, people. Yes, the storyline obviously is. That's how it has always been with Captain America. He was created by the government to help them fight a war. So, of course, there's going to be a little bit of politics here and there. And yes, they did take a couple of jabs at the government that you can't trust anybody, and there's conspiracies all over the place. And some people didn't like that. Well, fuck them, seriously. We can all trust the government. Come on. They wanted to put a little bit of a political statement in there, and I'm happy they did, because I like it when people complain and whine because they got their feelings hurt because of their political position. Give me a fucking break. This movie was awesome. I love the new direction they took with it. It makes the first movie look like a fucking joke. It's really a great movie, and as I said, it rivals that of the Avengers, and it's got a better story than the Avengers even. It does. And, they took more time to develop the character, and also adding that angle of Bucky, the Winter Soldier, and this is who his main rival is in the movie. It just adds to the emotion in the story. I mean, this is, his former sidekick, his friend, and he's got to go against him, and they make him look awesome. The Winter Soldier looks incredible in this movie. The stare, the eyes, everything that they did. Oh, God, I love this movie. I thought it was great. Definitely a wholehearted recommendation from me. Story, character, action, it had it all. This is a movie for just about everybody. Even if you don't necessarily like Captain America, you don't like superheroes, it's a good action movie. It's a good, movie in general. Yeah, go see it.